What is the right exercise for aging well? There's so much information, so many opinions, so many experts, it can get quite confusing. It's easy to give up altogether. One good way to look at it is asking yourself what you want to achieve. What is important to you as you age? What would you like to be able to do 5 years from now, 10 years from now? It is different if you want to run a marathon, play tennis, garden, get down to the floor and back up again. Each of these activities requires somewhat different skills. An even better question to ask yourself is, what physical activity do you enjoy? It may not be the scientifically tested exact right exercise regime for your age or for the activity you want in your life, but it has one great advantage. It is more likely that you'd actually do it and keep doing it. So the best strategy would probably be a combination of criteria. Find something that will bring some results and that you can enjoy doing repeatedly. And on top of it, there's another criterion that we often want to ignore: fear. If this sounds too unpleasant, think of it this way: what are the risks I should take into account as I age? We don't like to go there. I know I don't. Why occupy myself with bad things that might happen? There are enough bad things actually happening. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, and I certainly don't mean to scare people, but there is an issue that needs addressing. It's just not a good idea to ignore it. Balance. Our risk of falling grows with every year we grow older. Well, it grows statistically. It doesn't grow because of some law of nature. It grows steeply in our modern, urban, industrialized world. It hardly grows at all in societies that live like we did for millennia, where people stay equally active throughout their lives, where older people hardly lose muscle mass and bone density, where people walk a lot and not on flat paved surfaces, where people squat and sit on the ground. So the statistics are limited to our modern society. Just to give you an idea of the dimension of this phenomenon, here are some numbers. In the United States alone, there are 3 million emergency room visits per year due to adult falls. In the US alone, again, there are 300,000 hospitalizations per year due to hip fracture. Numbers in Europe are similar. So, you see, I'm not trying to alarm you. Any one of us can become one of those cases. But here's a detail. We lose mobility, we lose muscle and bone density, and we fall a lot because of our lifestyle. Our hip mobility is miserable, our response is slow and awkward, our feet that have been constrained and deformed by heavily cushioned shoes for decades have lost the natural flexibility and response to the ground. So with a slightest bump or unexpected unevenness, we lose our balance. But wait, this is actually good news because it is caused by our lifestyle. This means we can change it. It's not something we should simply accept with resignation. It's not the way things are. It means that it doesn't have to be that way, and it means that we can do something about it. Our sense of balance and our ability to respond to changing conditions and re-establish stability can be trained and improved. It can be better than it is now, by all means. It can be as it was when we were younger, or even better. That's why I have a possible answer to the question I posed in the beginning. Any exercise or physical activity you choose to engage in should include an element of balance work. Our lifestyle is so detrimental to our sense of balance because it hardly gets challenged at all. We prevent our feet from sensing the ground and responding to it by wearing hard cushioned shoes. We typically walk, if we walk at all, on flat paved surfaces, so there's no challenge there. We sit on chairs and move around in very limited ways. So our general mobility is very limited, etc., etc. In short, modern life puts our brains to sleep. And I deliberately say our brains. Yes, we also put our joints to sleep if we don't use them, our feet joints, and there are 33 of them, our hip joints, our knees, our spine. They all lose mobility and become stiff due to lack of use. But it is our brain that keeps us upright. Our balance control is a very complex task that involves a number of systems. The vestibular system, which is the sense that directly perceives and reports information on verticality, movement in space, and in relation to gravity, that's in our inner ear. Our eyes, which perceive the visual aspect of the same information, and our proprioceptive senses, which perceive our body's movement, muscle tone, and muscle activity from the inside out. Our brain receives all this information, it filters it, it analyzes it, and in real time, it responds with tiny corrections constantly. Every arm movement, head movement, every step we take, any small change in the shape of our bodies requires a response and correction, just to stay upright. Stand on one foot for just a few seconds, and you'll feel this magnificent system at work. Even if you have no trouble standing on one foot, you can feel that it's a very active position. There's a lot happening. Now stand on the other foot. If you're like me, you've probably chosen the more stable foot first. If this is so, then standing on the second foot is a little less stable and therefore a little more active. There's even more happening. So let me add to my recommendation. Any physical activity you choose should involve some balance work, and it should, by all means, involve your mind. This doesn't really describe the exercise itself, it is rather your attitude as you do it. Be mindful. Pay attention to what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you can vary it, play with it. Be curious. Stay attentive. If you have a guide, I hope they help you bring your mind, your attention to what you do. If you take my guidance, I assure you I will. I do it constantly. This is an important part of my guidance, calling your attention and directing it to different aspects, different details of what you're doing. I teach mindful movement. Being mindful is built into it. If you want to see how this works, join me this weekend for a free masterclass, Reverse the Aging Clock. We'll take a good look at what a holistic movement practice can look like, a practice that involves all of you, body and mind. And we'll take a closer look at how to apply it to improve our balance and stability. Click the link below and join me this weekend. It's free, it is effective, and it can change your life. Stay well, stay in motion,